The following is a production of 10 Ply Media.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Couch Slots Podcast for this week. It's episode 12 from a couch. I'm Rocky Persinger. With me, as always, Brent Pickens. What's up, Brent?
How you doing, Rock?
All right, man. Hey, we
We got it right this week.
well, what's up, Brent? Pretty good.
All right.
We're getting better.
They are.
Getting better at this podcast game. Well, before you know it, we'll be professionals. But here we are again this week, guys. We're just going to talk about a bunch of random stuff this week.
So, typical week, then.
Typical week. We're just going to talk about whatever the heck we feel like. So first off, Brent, what have you been playing this week, man?
Playing. Well, I'm still playing a little bit of Madden. I finally started a franchise mode thing, so I got that going.
Yeah.
They did. They learned from 2K 18 years ago.
Yeah, they learned from 2K4.
Yeah. And they finally put the on the halftime show, shows scores around the league, and it actually shows up like a Sports Center type thing, kind of like 2K5 did.
Yeah.
Actually, identical to what 2K5 did.
Yeah. So
And it shows the pass attempts, the touchdowns, the yardage, the rushing yards. So
yeah, it's like I guess it's probably more like a fantasy update nowadays. Right?
probably, yeah. That's
Yeah. So okay, speaking of fantasy, guys. So I'm in a college football fantasy league at work, and we did what's called a slow draft. Now Pickens probably never even heard of this.
I've never
before.
heard of it. It just sounds like an awful idea.
It was terrible.
And everything like even when we did the NFL one, like it's aggravating because people you got 2 minutes and then they take the whole 2 minutes.
Yeah, or their app messes up like mine did,
Yeah.
and it takes the whole 2 minutes, and then it auto picks my first round pick when I would have picked Saquon.
Yeah.
And then you ended.
I got
up with,
Saquon.
You ended up with Saquon. You jerk.
Saquon.
Saquon's going to dominate this year.
He is.
People don't know. People don't know about Saquon. You seen the man's legs? It's like Bo Jackson. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm pretty jacked up about that.
I feel good about my team.
I did end up with Fournette. I traded for Leonard Fournette, so that's pretty good. But man, this college draft, I did show up for the first round this time because it was a slow draft.
You got 24 hours, don't you? Is that what?
Yeah. So the way we set it up is, people just had as much time as they want to pick.
That would wear me out.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. And there was this group text going on.
Oh no.
with everybody in the whole thing. And man,
So how many guys were in your?
it's 10. It's
10?
a 10 player league. And man, it was just like pulling teeth trying to get people to pick. Like I tried one night I was out, I went to like Applebee's or something stupid like that. And I was out and I didn't pick for like 2 hours. And all these guys were bitching at me. And meanwhile, they're sitting there for like 10 hours all day not picking. I'm like, come on, man. But it was bad. Don't do a slow draft. So I've heard other slow drafts, the way they're set up is you have 4 hours to pick.
Still, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, 4 hours to pick. And the draft is only open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So there's not. Ours was just 24 hours, and then it was open all day, and people could take up to a day to make a pick. They didn't. The average pick time was like an hour or something like that.
That's still insane.
Oh yeah. Well, you look at it. There's 18 rounds, 10 picks. It's 180 picks.
Oh my gosh.
An hour each, 180 hours.
I couldn't handle it.
Oh my god.
Because I'm telling you, when we were doing our league thing, man. I'm glad toward after the first 3 or 4 rounds, he switched it to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because people, I guess, we're doing an auto pick, which that's a whole nother thing. I don't know if you're doing it, and I guess the auto pick is good if you can't do it.
If you can't be, you can set it up though one person did set it up for auto, and it was picking like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And yeah, somebody asked John about that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, how do I set up auto pick? And he's like, you got to do this.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right, it'll take the whole time.
The whole 2 minutes or
the whole
however.
2 minutes. And apparently a couple people didn't do it right, and it
Yeah.
took the whole 2 minutes. But yeah,
That auto pick, man, I don't, because it, like, you know, it would pop up. It's like, well, you have 2 minutes. If you don't pick anybody, this is who it's going to take.
yeah.
And I was like, I don't want it. That's not the best guy on the board, you know? So
Yeah, and I don't know how it wasn't the best guy on the board that it's taking.
Yeah,
I think it goes by average draft position.
maybe that's what it is.
I think it is, because in my college league, it was always like the players were ranked by average draft position. Even though there's a player way down here that people aren't drafting that will score a lot more points.
Yeah.
My college one, I tried to go, the tables have turned. So, 2 weeks ago we were talking, we don't have enough friends to play
Yeah.
fantasy, and now I'm in 2 freaking leagues.
Yeah.
So I got to watch college and NFL, so this is going to be interesting this year. But I tried to go with players that were proven, like they maybe a senior that had really good stats last year.
Yeah.
Like, my quarterback, I got Brian Lewerke from Michigan State. He had 3,000 yards last year, and like 20 touchdowns or something.
Not bad.
Yeah, and he had a couple rushing touchdowns, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, man. But the slow draft was just would not recommend it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah,
Like I said, man, the 2 minutes, it was driving me nuts. If it, I'm sitting there waiting on my turn, waiting, and then like you don't even see your name on the board yet, and then like, well, there goes 2 minutes there because I was doing mine. I was trying to do it before I had to go to the emergency room.
well, that's true.
So
yeah.
I was like, I told Lacey, I was like, I gotta get this draft done before we go. And on the
Yeah, so
on the way
Brent-
to Catwell, I made her drive. Of course, my knee was hurting bad.
Well, Brent had a spider bite on his knee,
Yeah,
and it was infected.
yeah, it was bad.
And he put off going to the hospital so he could do the NFL fantasy draft.
Yeah, so anybody that says they don't have time to do their fantasy draft is full of shit.
This man's driving to the hospital. I will say in our college fantasy at work, there was a guy who had a baby and made a pick a half hour later.
Dang, that's tough right there.
That's pretty
son.
good.
That's
pretty good.
that is hardcore. That's,
And then you got that guy having a baby making a pick in the hospital, and then the other guy waits like 10 hours.
I can see she's having a C-section. She's like, hold on a second, I gotta. Hey Doc, who do you think I should take?
Who do you think I should take? Who you got this year?
Oh, that's awesome.
But,
That's awesome.
but yeah, man. So half hour after having that baby, he picked. So
That's tough. That's,
yeah, props to him. But, man, the slow draft. My gosh, I will not do another slow draft.
Yeah,
Like,
when you originally told me about it, have you ever heard of one? I was like, no, yeah, and then he told me about it, and I'm like, that sounds awful.
yeah, it's bad. And then you gotta you get an email when your pick's up. You go in and pick. And there was so much time between picks. I was going through, I'd sit there for 20 minutes and then just go through and put like a bunch of guys in my queue.
Yeah,
And then order them all. So I had, I had like 4 quarterbacks in my queue, and 4 wide receivers, and 4 running backs. So, if those people weren't picked, I would just go to my queue, hit the next one, boom, I'm drafted. Like it took me 3 seconds to draft. I don't know. There was people taking like 10 hours.
So was it through all of college football, or did y'all just do like the Big 12?
We did the Power 5 conferences. So Big 12, Pac 12, ACC, SEC. What's the other one? Big 10.
Big 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did the Power 5 conferences. I actually was a little disappointed with that because I like the Mountain West Conference.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Mountain West Conference is basically the old WAC conference, the
Oh, yeah.
Western Athletic Conference. So you've got Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State. San Diego State has a really good running back this year, and so does Boise. Actually, Boise has a really good running back too. So we're big Boise fans
Yeah.
here.
Blue turf, son.
The Smurf turf. It's kind of on our bucket list to go see the Smurf turf
It
out
is.
in Boise, Idaho. So, Yeah, we got into them, a couple years before they had that big Tostitos Fiesta Bowl win against Oklahoma, and yeah,
Bransky.
Jared Zabransky,
Ian Johnson.
Ian Johnson, yep.
Wasn't oh shoot, what's it? Austin, was it Austin Pettis?
Austin Pettis, I think he was a little later.
Was it later?
I think he was a little like a year later or something.
They had that middle linebacker was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was. And then they had that middle linebacker last year that came out.
Well,
really good.
the Cowboys got him. Vaughn. I can't think of his name right now, but
but
Hirsch or Ash or something.
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, so he's going to be a good NFL linebacker.
I think so.
He's got to be better than Sean Lee. I mean,
well, I'm not going to say better, but if he plays 2 games,
yeah, he's done
better than. Actually, that's another thing. I was playing Madden. Sean Lee, he tackled this guy, caused a fumble, and he tore his shoulder or something. He's out for like 8 games.
So his toughness is like a 3 on.
It has to be.
Well, I mean, he deserves it.
He came out Penn State, didn't he?
I don't know where the heck he came from.
Penn
Sean
State.
Lee, I don't know where the heck he came from, but
Notre Dame. I don't know one of those.
Either way, he's ridiculously
like he's a good player, but he cannot stay healthy. I don't. And that's what the Cowboys do. He can't stay healthy. We'll sign him to an 8-year contract for for $70 million.
Well, this is
it's just like, come on, man.
The Cowboys are just stupid anyway. Jerry Jones is just, they need to. It was like Al Davis, with the Raiders there the last few years. It's like Al needed to go, man.
Well, he did. Well, all he did was he's like, we're going to find the fastest 40 time. We're going to sign him.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what he did. I mean, remember when they signed Michael Bay?
Oh yeah,
Michael Hayward Bay, and like he couldn't run a route, but he was fast. So he's like, we're going to sign him. And that's what I don't understand. Speed can only take you so far. If you can't run a route,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're faster than the other guy.
Yeah, it's kind of, Devin Hester wasn't a very good receiver because he couldn't run a route very well.
No, but he was a hell of a punt and kick returner.
Yeah, so but, I mean, unless the good thing about the Raiders is if they have those guys, they're going to be returning a lot of kickoffs because the other team is scoring constantly.
That's true.
So maybe that's the logic behind Al there. He's like, oh, the other team scored so much, we need a good kick returner.
Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, but I'll tell you what though, the Raiders this year, man, I got in an argument online with the guy yesterday. Imagine that, having an argument online. But I got an argument with the guy. He said Jordy wouldn't have over 700 yards receiving this year.
Why?
That's what I said.
He's the number 1 receiver on the team.
He's the number 1 receiver on the team, and
you got Amari Cooper.
He has 1,000 yards every year with Aaron Rodgers, and Derek Carr is a good quarterback. So as long as Derek Carr stays healthy, the man's going to have a monster year.
Because you got Jordy, you got Amari Cooper. Is that it?
That's kind of.
I mean, I'm sure they got some other receivers.
That's as far as good,
but
that's it. So. But Jordy is I said it before, I'll say it again. Jordy is the most underrated wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, well, and not just this year, for the past 10 years probably.
Exactly, dude. And because people look at him and they think he's a Wes Welker type,
right?
Because he's so small. Well, he is not. He has breakaway speed.
He does.
He's always in behind the defenses. He always gets behind their safeties and cornerbacks. And like he's just, I watched it for years.
I mean, YouTube it if you don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube Jordy Nelson highlights.
Yeah, because he.
And you'll remember, I was one of the biggest Jordy haters out there.
Yeah, I didn't understand it when y'all had Jordy. You despised the man.
For the first few years we had him,
but
I did not like the guy.
He's a stud, man. I don't understand.
I grew to love him.
Yeah, and
I'm pissed off that he went to the Raiders because now what do we have? Devontae Adams. I love Devontae. He's from Fresno State. He's another old whack guy.
Well, I seen a thing. It's like they just traded people because in college, Carr was throwing to Devontae.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And
Carr's from Fresno.
I think
he went to Fresno.
I think.
Huh. I got
pretty
a newfound respect for that man. I didn't even realize that.
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, because they were saying that they just switched receiver, and so I don't know, man. I like the connection. I really do, because I think he's gonna make Carr look really good. Jordy is.
Yeah, he is. Jordy's the man, dude. He's awesome.
If the Raiders can get a little bit of a little bit more of a solid run game. Because Marshawn he didn't do a whole lot last year.
Yeah, well, he's back in Oakland, man. He's out in the community. He doesn't really care about football anymore. He's just dancing on the sideline.
Well, one of those maybe he never really cared.
I don't think he ever did really care about football. But that's Marshawn, man. If you're going to have Marshawn on your team, that's the baggage that comes with it. The man's going to be dancing on the sidelines. Gruden ain't going to have that crap, though. Gruden, I don't know how Gruden didn't cut him already.
I don't know. He was cleaning house when he rolled in there.
Yeah, he was. King, the punter. He cut the punter.
I know. Who cuts a punter?
Who cuts the punter? What was his name? Marquise King or something like that?
I think so.
Oh, his last name was King.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like the guy. He celebrated a little bit after he made a good punt.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, who cares?
That's all the man's got to do is punt. I mean,
let the man have one.
Let him have it.
Let a man have one. I mean, if you're punting...
Hell, I'd be celebrating too if I pinned somebody inside the 10.
Yeah, that's right. Kicked it right out of bounds, right over your head.
That's right. It's all about field position, man.
It is. It's a field position game. Gruden, I really honestly can't tell if Gruden is a genius or a complete idiot.
I don't know, man. That quarterback camp. I used to watch that every year.
I know. The one with Favre is my all-time favorite thing ever.
I don't know.
I think he's honestly an idiot, though.
Yeah.
He kind of took over that Tampa Bay with Tony Dungy's team.
I don't know something. That was Gruden's team.
Oh, that was all Gruden. Okay. That was all Gruden.
Oh, no, but yeah, I agree with you.
I can't figure him out, man. I mean, he's like... But, I mean, John Madden said stupid shit on Monday Night Football, but he was a football genius.
Well, look at Peyton Manning.
Oh, yeah.
You look at him, and he looks like the dumbest guy, to ever, but then he gets up to the line, and he's reading the defense, like...
Well, he also made, really good grades in college. I don't know if you knew that or not about Peyton.
I didn't.
I didn't know how, but apparently he did.
You look at him, it's like... The lights are on, but nobody's home. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
Well, I mean, after you have 37 concussions.
No, but if you look at him his rookie year...
Well, that's true. He looks like an idiot.
You're that goofy-ass long neck. Like the helmet.
He is like a damn giraffe.
He is. I don't know.
That's why he had to have that big old helmet. Maybe his neck's so big because it just has to support the new helmet style.
Might be what it is.
But yeah, he does have a ridiculous... Look at Peyton Manning. Look up a picture of Peyton Manning. Look at the man's neck to head ratio.
It is. It's ridiculous.
His neck is longer than his head.
And every year, even going back to when he was at the Colts, I remember playing Madden, and I would just get so mad.
Oh my god!
Because you got a 40-second play clock or 35, whatever it is.
He's audible in 4 times.
Omaha. Yeah, and it's like there's
God.
3 seconds left. It's like, good gosh.
Anytime I had to play the Colts and they were played by the computer, I simulated that game.
It was ridiculous.
You got the 40-second play clock, and he takes it down to 5 seconds every time. Sitting there calling audibles and then it never even worked.
It didn't.
It never even worked in the game. I mean, it worked in real life, but geez, man, and I don't know. It did that stupid Omaha thing. I actually bought a shirt that it was a Broncos shirt and it said Omaha on it, just because I thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
And I was giving somebody at work crap at the time about the Omaha thing. But yeah, man. So I have been playing. We went off on a football tangent there, but we talked about Madden and 2K5 last week. I actually bought 3 new games, older games. So for the PS2, I bought Blitz the League.
That's a good game.
It's a good game. I played it though. The controls are a little different. It's a little bit of a different game. I'm gonna have to get used to it again. It's kind of tough. The computer was dominating me.
Really?
I played a game, and then I got Final Fantasy X, which I actually can't believe I didn't have that one for PS2. I know you. If you saw the cover, you would know it.
Yeah.
And then the biggest game I wanted to talk about is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. So one thing we got to mention this week.
Yeah.
Last week we put together our list of our top 10 couch co-op games of all time, and we had Pickens called me a couple days later. He's like, "Man, I don't know why we didn't put these on, but the Lord of the Rings games for PS2,
Yeah, because we
rolled hard on those things.
rolled on,
man.
and if
you and Jerry
yeah,
especially.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because Jerry's over basically every weekend.
Well, he lived with you for
He-
a while.
He,
there,
he,
you
he
know.
did.
Which I did too in college. But what are you gonna do?
It was funny too. Real quick, little side note before we talk about the Lord of the Rings. I remember his mom always thought because his grandparents lived up the road from my grandparents' house, and I live with my grandparents for anybody that don't know. But he would come down. Well, when my brother was living with me, he came down. He'd ride his bike just down looking for somebody to play with, and my brother was staying there, so he got out of school a little earlier. Well, then that's how I met Jerry, was through my brother.
Uh-huh.
Well, and we started talking. We become pretty good friends, and his mom, it got to the point where he was staying with us on the weekends, and his mom would let him stay one night, and then she'd come get him.
Right.
Well, his mom drove from Sissonville. She was gonna pick him up because she was like, "No, you stayed one night. That's enough." Well, my grandma walks out and she's like, "Jerry's staying another night." She's like,
That's a granny.
"All right."
What are you gonna say to that?
It's just
What are you gonna say to that at that point?
But me and him, we played a lot of the Lord of the Rings games because it was 2-player, the co-op.
Yeah.
He was the archer. I was more of the sword guy.
Yeah.
And those were I remember those are really good co-op games to play.
Yeah.
And to me, that would be really probably one of my favorite co-op games because of the story and you really had to work together on it.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know what we would take off the list.
Yeah,
to put in there.
I think that would be one of those things you had to put it with something else.
Yeah.
It's like, well, to me, it'd be definitely in the top 5, but they were, they were really good games.
Yeah,
I had a
good.
lot of fun with them.
So this one, the one I bought it for GameCube actually, is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, and I don't know if Pickens ever played this one or actually remembers playing it, but I'm sure he played it. But
I'm sure I played it, yeah. But I remember there's the 3 games, and I don't remember.
Yeah, they had a Fellowship of the Ring, they had 2 Towers, and they had Return of the King.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to buy those 2 eventually.
Those are really good games.
But the one I remember playing the most was The Third Age, and it's a co-op game as well, and it's a turn-based strategy game, or turn-based RPG, just like Final Fantasy or any of those. But you control Lord of the Rings characters. You got a man and an elf and a ranger and a dwarf eventually.
So that's turn-based?
Yeah, it's turn-based.
So the other 3 wasn't.
Yeah, the other 3 were like hack and slash.
I may have not played that one, though.
Yeah, this is a turn-based strategy game. And this is the one I actually like the best out of all those. Just because I like turn-based RPGs. But you basically, it goes through all 3 movies, which is cool. And then you play as, you're kind of following the Fellowship of the Ring. Mm-hmm. They set off, and then you're kind of following them. You go through. You're right behind them all the time. You're right behind them. But basically, all of the major fights that happen in the movies happen in this game. It's just like you're right behind. It's kind of weird how it weaves in and out of the story. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool the way it does that. But I had a lot of fun with that game, and this one where it's a turn-based RPG. It's basically the co-op part is just like, okay, I control these 2 characters and you control these 2, and and then you do turn-based style, but.
Maybe I did play that game because that don't. It being turn based, I don't remember playing it.
Yeah. I liked it a lot back in the day. I rented it a lot for PS2. I think
Or we may have got it and just got mad because it was a turn-based one. And then,
That's true. So
Close.
yeah, but I love those games. I'm all about it, man. I love the you go into an area and the enemies are too tough, so you have to go back to another area and grind a lot and try to level up your guys. Like I love that stuff, man. I love the grind of the turn-based RPGs, and they don't really make them anymore now. Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 15. I didn't even play it, but I know that it's like a hack and slash game, like the other Lord of the Rings games.
yeah.
So, I don't. I'm more of a fan of the turn-based stuff because, I can sit there. Okay, it's my turn. Well, now I can go. I can go get a drink or something. Come back.
Yeah.
Do the turn-based.
Well, see, what was it that we played a lot on PS3? I can't remember.
Well, see, I played. So, as far as the turn-based game goes, and this isn't a turn-based RPG. This is truly a turn-based strategy game. I played the XCOM games. XCOM 1 is awesome. Like you have 4 guys, and they have they can go a certain distance per turn, and you position them like different places, and you're fighting aliens and stuff. XCOM for PS3 is awesome.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's legit. I think they have XCOM 2 for PS4, so you should look into getting that one.
Let's check it out.
It's cool, man. I'll show you after we're done. I'll show you XCOM.
Okay.
Because I really like it, man. It's pretty legit. But yeah, I had to bring up that I bought Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, and that kind of made us think, oh, we should have put those co-op games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On our co-op list. So that's a little omission we had there.
Yeah.
And I got it for GameCube. I love getting a new game for my GameCube because, I have a lot more PS2 games than I do my GameCube. And GameCube's getting pretty popular, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they're getting more expensive, especially all, Mario and Zelda and that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I have most of the Mario. I don't have Super Mario Sunshine. That was one for the GameCube. But, I have a lot. I have Mario Kart, Luigi's Mansion, and Zelda, the 2 Zelda games, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So I have both those up there. But that's one thing, Pick, I wish you would have played back in the day was the Zelda games.
Yeah, I missed out, man.
Yeah, I love Zelda,
and I don't know why. I didn't.
Well, you were a PlayStation kid.
Well,
so.
I was, like I know we've said before. I had the Sega, then I rolled on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then later on, I got to 64, but I never. For some reason, I never really got in Nintendo. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Like I said, I had the original.
See,
I
the
had
original
a couple games
like
for.
the original Zelda, The Legend of Zelda on the original Nintendo. It's kind of hard to get into, it kind of just drops you in there and you got to know what to do and, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard. They didn't, and a lot of people, I love that game, for what it is, but they didn't get really good as far as the Zelda formula goes until A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. And see, so you didn't have a Super Nintendo, you had the Genesis. So that's when they got really good. So A Link to the Past was the first one I played where I was like, whoa. And then later on the N64, of course, they had Ocarina of Time, which is widely considered like the greatest game of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there. But yeah, I feel kind of bad for you. You missed out on those, man.
Yeah, I did. I loved my PlayStation. I mean, I had. I want to kick myself in the ass now for trading stuff in,
Trading it
so
all
I can
in,
get something else.
PS2.
Because we were poor and I didn't have the money to get the new console, so I'd have to trade up. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of guys are like that, and that's why now there's a big retro game market because they're like, man, I traded in all this shit when I was younger, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah, because I had a stock of PlayStation games.
Yeah,
I had. There's probably a handful of games I didn't have. Honestly,
yeah.
I remember. I was big on the game day games.
Yeah. Game day.
The college game day. I love those, and then the NFL was fun too.
Are those 2K? I think those are 2K, aren't
I'm
they?
not
No,
sure.
those are 989.
989 Sports.
Those
yeah.
are 989. Yep.
But I always loved it because it was one of the first games when you're at the goal line, and a lot of them just have the regular dive.
Yeah.
Well, you have the dog pile dive where you went up and over. So I was big on those, and I think that was around the time I was a big Miami Hurricanes fan
Yeah.
because of The Rock and all that.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I would, I'd take over the Hurricanes and try to win the national championship with them, and I just remember those being a lot of fun.
College game day, man. Yeah. Those are
College
legit.
game day. Like I said, I had the NFL one, but I really had a lot of fun with the college game day one. I mean, it was a lot of fun. But like I said, I had so many PlayStation games. And I had a lot of PS2 games when I traded those in to get the
Yeah,
3.
I mean, so looking over at my shelf there, I have a lot of PS2 games.
You have a lot of PS2 games.
And you had more. I know you had more than me.
Yeah.
Like, you had a ton of PS2 games.
Yeah. And like I
A
said,
lot of those, maybe not now, because a lot of those I've went back and bought them,
Yeah.
since, because I went through when GameStop, when the PS3 was out, and they were trying to, and then the PS4 might have been getting ready to come out, and they were like, oh, we got to get rid of these PS2 games, so they all, they were like $2, $3, So I went in and I even went to pawn shops and they had them for like $1 a piece. PS2 games, whatever, didn't matter what it was. They had $1 PS2 games, so that was awesome. Well, you can hear the train in the background there. But yeah, so now I might have about as many as you did, but I know for a long time when the system was actually out, you had more games than I did.
Yeah,
So,
I had a lot, and I had and the thing I really liked about it, I had stuff that you didn't really. I had some rare stuff you didn't really see, on the shelf at Walmart and stuff.
yeah.
That I'm drawing a blank on some of the names now, but I don't know. I just want to kick myself. If I could go back and do something, I would have never got rid of them because those.
Looking back at it, man, it's just like, oh man, I could have waited another year and saved up my money and got a PS2.
And that's what I should have done, because man, it makes me mad.
Yeah, that's a lot of, and I don't really have any PS1 games.
Yeah,
I kind of like to get into PlayStation 1. It's kind of hard these days though. The PlayStation 1's pretty jaggedy.
yeah, it is jaggedy.
Yeah.
And if you try to go back and play Twisted Metal, because when I had the 3, you could buy PlayStation 1 games on the 3.
Right.
Well, I ended up buying Twisted Metal. I don't remember the controls being that wonky. But
Yeah.
do you remember the controls?
Well, see,
'Cause
so
gas was O and X.
oh boy. Yeah, that's pretty wonky. I don't think I ever played the original Twisted Metal. I played Black.
Oh man, me and Billy, we spent a lot of time because we did the multiplayer. I remember doing that, but we played the story a lot too.
Yeah.
Because I was a big Spectre fan. The blue Viper
Right.
looking car, and I remember Axel, the guy on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah, I
There's
played.
the guy on the motorcycle too.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name,
But yeah, I played Black. I never played the original.
see, I never played Black.
I like Black, man. I know our buddy Steve likes Black too.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal Black, but
I never played Twisted Metal Black, but I was a fan of 1, 2. I think there's a third one. I think maybe it was Black.
I don't know. See, because I had the 64, so those days I was rolling with Destruction Derby and Road Rash 64. I don't know if you knew they made that game.
I did not.
That's a blast from the past right there. Road Rash 64. I mean, it's a legit game.
See,
I like it.
I
I need to buy that one.
man, I don't know, man. Just thinking back all the games I had that
You had a ton of games, that's for sure. But well, what are you gonna do now? I mean, a lot of this stuff. I barely have room for any of this crap.
Yeah.
I should probably get rid of a lot of it, but I don't.
I mean, Blitz is just staring at me right now.
There it is.
I had a
Blitz
lot of
League.
fun with that game too.
Yeah, and what was the other? Remember the basketball game? It was the league as well, right? Remember you had a career you went through. It was like the first basketball game with a story. I remember playing it when we were out at your house in Red House.
Oh, yeah, you were the JUCO kid. It was
It was called the League, right? NBA the League, something like that.
NBA The Life Volume 1.
The Life, yeah, that was it. Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah, Phenom was good too. The basketball game.
Yeah.
Remember, you get the bar. So you're playing street basically, or rags to riches. Phenom.
Phenom, right?
Yeah. Because you're working your way up the NBA circuit or whatever, and you're playing these. And then once you got your bar filled up so much, you could do a special.
Yeah.
If you held I think it was all 4 shoulder buttons, you could end up breaking the rim.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but I forgot. Yeah,
the Life.
Yeah, the
and
Life
too. Yeah,
that was a darn good game.
Yeah, dude. I just remember playing that, and that was when you still lived out Red House.
Yep.
Coming over and playing that game, and then I just remember playing that game, and we were playing that when we locked Matt and Billy out.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're staying. Here's a little side story. We're staying at Brent's Mama and Papa's house out kind of out in the country.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so Matt and his brother Billy smoked at the time, and we were like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
We weren't even,
Yeah.
so they smoked. So, and we couldn't have your mom and papa finding out that they smoked.
Yeah, and Papa, he never slept, so you couldn't go out the front door.
Yeah, you couldn't. He was just sitting there in the chair, and he probably slept with his eyes open.
He probably did. He was probably watching some Friday Night Fights at the time.
Oh yeah. See, that's what I miss, man. I've said this before about Friday Night Fights. I dreamed of being the old guy that just stayed up by myself and watched Friday Night Fights. But they took Friday Night Fights off the air.
I know.
It's bull crap, man. But so I can never have that dream of being Gramps up watching the Friday Night Fights.
I mean, maybe you just having some stuff on Prime or something, but just play some reruns or something.
Play some reruns of Friday Night Fights, but that's all I have, man. My generation was robbed of being the old man watching Friday Night Fights. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh, them sneaking out. Okay, so he couldn't go out the front door like he said because his grandpa never slept. So yeah, they had to climb out the window.
Yeah, it's cold too.
Yeah.
This is about winter time.
So we're kind of like me and Brent after a certain hour. Especially Brent, when he's ready to go to sleep,
I'm out, man.
He's out.
I'm out.
And we, there's a couple times we wake up the next day, man, still got a controller in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's just out. So we're sitting there playing the Life. Next thing you know, me and Brent, they go outside, and we lock the door. So why did we lock the window?
It was cold.
Oh, it was cold, so we closed the window. And
I'll shut that a little bit.
And then me and Brent fell asleep. And they were locked out.
They were locked out.
And they couldn't knock on the window because then, your papa would know something.
And they're outside in T-shirts and a basketball shorts.
Yeah, it's like 10 degrees outside.
But I guess finally they woke they guys woke up enough to open the window. But, yeah.
But yeah,
Fun times.
we were playing NBA The Life.
Yeah, we were.
I'm pretty darn sure we were.
Oh, I know we were. Yeah.
So
I forgot about that game.
Yeah,
the JUCO kid.
The JUCO kid. That's
and that
right.
game was cool because it now the story. It's not so much a story. Then you get drafted and they tell a little backstory, and about you all the whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then you didn't play a whole season. It'd be like Game 7 of the regular season.
Yeah.
This is your first chance. And then you had goals you needed to do, not let so-and-so score.
And those
more
got
than 10
tough,
points.
man.
They did.
Those got tough.
And then it took it to the playoffs, and then the next year it did the same thing.
Right.
So they were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really like those games.
I think that's where 2K kind of got their idea from.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
Yeah, and they call it. Didn't they even call it The Life one year? Something like that?
I think. But yeah,
I forget what they called their superstar mode, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was something close to that.
It was.
But so speaking of 2K, there's our next little topic here. Brent's got a dilemma this year.
I do. Live has been giving NBA 2K a run for the money past couple of years. I mean, they've been getting better.
Says Pickens. Not a lot of people have that sentiment, but Pickens is.
These people, I don't know what their problem is.
These people,
because they're looking at the facial, all that. I don't give anything about how close they resemble the NBA player.
Yeah. I mean, NBA Live's still pretty close.
Yeah. The uniform colors they're different, but last year's games, I'm a big fan of 2K. I've been playing it since 2K 7 or 8, whenever last. Maybe it was 10. But
I know 10 was the big comeback.
That was one with Jordan, right?
Yeah, and then I got 2K12 there.
That was one with 3 of them on it, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. We'll have to look here after, because I think I bought it every year there for a while.
But I mean, Live is right here, and Rock can vouch. Man, Live was the crap back in the day.
Yeah, and I played. Some guys came over Friday night, and we played some games. And I pulled out NBA Live 07 on PS2, and just the gameplay of it. I liked the gameplay of NBA Live 07 better than I like 2K today, because 2K looks great, right? Yeah. But I have a problem with the slow pace of the game, and also the 2K, the momentum of the player. Yeah. It feels like you're stuck in quicksand sometimes. Yeah. When you're trying to dribble up the lane.
It does.
It feels like your guy, you hit forward to run, and then the guy's like, like he has this momentum. He doesn't just get in NBA Live 07. He just went.
He did.
Like, you hit forward, the guy started running.
All you had to do is run around circles, and then you could just eventually go around and dunk.
Well, maybe that's why I liked it.
I think that's why, because you used to dunk on us.
I did. The other night I played with KG, and I had a lot of pretty good dunks there.
But I like those games, and when they stopped the Live. When they stopped making it, that's when 2K finally, got a little bit. Because I didn't like the 2K games before 10.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't, the controls were all different. On Live, I loved it because O was to shoot, triangle was a jump, square was a steal, X was the pass.
Yep.
And 2K, they're a little wonky, but I mean, I got used to it over time because I had to.
Because they were better games.
Right.
But see what happened? Okay, so it's basically right now what we're seeing. When Madden was stale for a lot of years, right? Mm-hmm. Then 2K football comes out. Madden has to step up their game because they have competition. So just like we talked about last week. Then, Madden kind of snuffed it out. They snuffed out 2K.
Yep.
And then, Madden from that point progressively got worse every year.
Yeah.
Because there's no competition to let it be that way. So what happened, NBA Live was king, back in 07, 06, 07. NBA Live was the game.
And see, they were putting out a college basketball game every year, too.
Which, I love that college basketball game.
And I think it's crazy because it was the same game. All they did was change
skins.
The skins.
Yeah.
But they were fun games year in and year out.
Something about them always felt different, though, when you played.
And I will say this. They had the All-Star Weekend, NBA Live did. And 2K to this day still does not have it right. Now, by NBA Live, the three-point shootout, we would sit around for hours playing the three-point shootout.
Yeah.
Because it was natural. You could actually make your shots. 2K still doesn't have it right. Like last year's game, I sat there and in my career mode, I was trying the 3-point shootout probably 20 times.
Yep.
And it's impossible to win to win it. And I don't know what they've done wrong, but NBA Live did that right. And I'm kind of 2K. I love how they put the older teams in there.
Yep.
the old school teams.
Yeah,
And
those
they've
are
been-
good.
each year they've been putting more and more in there. But the microtransactions for the My Career thing
Yeah,
is ruining it because I mean I don't really play online. I mean I don't care to build him up, but it just takes so long
yeah,
to earn the stuff, and I kind of like NBA Live because it's more like a RPG because you'll play a game and it's really cool. Last year's was because your character just tore his ACL in college. He was going to go high. Mm-hmm. Well, then he took of course had to rehab it and all this, and he worked his way up through the D League and all that.
right.
Well, then you play a game, and it's not like, well, I'm going to put these points toward this. It's you get to pick. You get what you want to work on. Your passing, shooting. It's simplified more, and I like that about it.
Yeah,
But then I don't know. It's hard to go against 2K because they've really been putting out good games. But
yeah, the microtransactions. 2K need to improve their gameplay. But back to my point of, so then NBA Live was king. Then 2K bursts onto the market, shuts NBA Live down basically. Then NBA Live goes away, and there's no competition for 2K. So 2K, they've kind of started pulling a Madden. They've kind of started putting the same game out year after year. And they're not really getting a whole lot better.
which they change each year. I will say they've changed the story, the My Career type thing.
Yeah.
Each year they've changed it.
But it's all in all, it's kind of still the same arc, it's all...
Yeah. I mean, it pretty much is.
Yeah.
But the first year when I got the PS4, I was debating between 2K and NBA Live.
Yeah.
I went with 2K. Mm-hmm. And because, each year, I think NBA Live's gotten that much closer
Yeah.
to giving them a run. But, man, 2K just, the gameplay, it feels so much better than...
Even though I'm not a huge fan of the gameplay. But,
yeah.
I have issues with the 2K gameplay.
And I think it gets me, man. I freaking love the where they put the old school teams in there.
Yeah, that's legit. Dude.
And that to me, that's the best thing. If friends come over or something, we'll play the old school teams, and that's a lot of fun.
I'm still hung up on, your idea from last week of take it back to 1990, make the whole league, build the whole league in 1990, and then realistically look at how players develop, and then also have the draft of the actual players that actually got drafted.
That I really like it. I think it'd be cool, but
that's awesome. That's a great idea. But so I'm playing another sports game. We're just going to talk about sports games this whole time, I guess. But so I popped in NCAA 13. My wife was out of town this weekend, so I brought the PS3 in and had a little PS3 party, and pulled out NCAA 13, which was the second to last NCAA game.
They did make 14,
they made a 14. I actually don't have it, but I do have 13. It's the one with RG3 on the cover. Yeah. So NCAA 13, man. Just I miss having a college football game because of the recruiting.
Oh yeah.
They really did it right in NCAA football.
They really did. Yeah. Was that the year they did with the diamond in the rough type
diamond in the rough stuff? They still, that was more back in like 06, 07, but they still pretty much had that in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, man, and it's trying to convince a player to come to your school.
Yeah.
Is a lot better than, I got this draft pick, you have to come to my team.
Yeah.
Because players can tell you to go to hell and go somewhere else.
Yeah, especially if you're at like a Marshall or even a Boise, they're bigger, but but I always liked it because it had the five schools or whatever, and then you had to,
Yeah, and that's the best part. It is really cool to start a franchise in NCAA with a Marshall
Yeah.
or something, and then build it up. You know, go from a 1-star prestige to, you know, 4-star prestige, and then you start getting better recruits and all that
But
stuff.
I always had a problem if I had like say a senior, but then I made a promise to a freshman or a junior that you know they
start.
want playing time or something. So then I end up breaking a promise, or you know.
They'll junk you. You got to be careful on them promises.
And then I remember, you know, going for the Heisman. You know, I'd want this guy to run the Heisman, and I'm throwing to this guy too much.
Yeah.
And then the receiver ends up winning it. You know?
Boy.
Yeah.
But you know, and one thing I will say, I started a new what is it? Road to Glory.
Aw.
So I started a new Road to Glory. I got a little bored with it, but I went through the high school season. I simmed most of it because you play like 10 high school games. Man, nobody wants to play like 10 high school games.
Yeah.
So, you know, I simmed through that. I signed with Boise State to go to college, get a scholarship to Boise State. And so this part I didn't tell you yet. I was the 3rd string running back, right? You practice every week on NCAA 13.
Yep.
So you go in, you practice. After the first week, since I ran the ball so well in practice, I had enough points to challenge the 2nd string guy for his job. So practice 1 week. Next week I challenge the 2nd string guy, make 2nd string. I'm an 81 overall. He's an 83. They put me at 2nd string. He's in 3rd string now. 3rd week, go practice. After the 3rd week, I have enough points to challenge the starter for his position. 4th week, challenge the starter, get his job. He's an 89 overall.
Daggone.
I'm an 81. So, it was a little too ridiculous for me.
Yeah.
Because you need to work your way up, man, to be a starter. And within four weeks, I rolled onto campus and I was the starter.
Was that the one you had to take the test to keep your grades up?
No, that was back in like 06.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I liked it.
I
I
love
liked
that
it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it gave you the feeling of being like a student. You know, I did think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The Road to Glory thing, I got a little bored with NCAA 13, but you know, I'm gonna have to I'll have to put a little more into the franchise and see what's up. But I don't know, I go back and play these old sports games, even though they're good games. It's like after a while I'm like, man, this game, I'm sitting here, I got a stack of new games I haven't beat yet.
Yeah.
And I'm playing this old sports game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really getting anywhere. It's like, you know, it's kind of like, well, what am I doing with my life here? I could be playing other video games, so I'm playing this one. You know, an old sports game that nobody gives a crap about anymore. Except us, because we talk about them for an hour on our podcast.
Hey.
But what are you going to do? So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. We've been playing a bunch of sports games, and also the Lord of the Rings. I popped that in. So, going to close out, maybe not close out, but we're pretty close to time here, 53 minutes in. Going to close out with a little segment we like to call Things I Hate. So, here's the thing I hate, Pickens. Every year, it's that time of year again, high school football season.
Who gives a crap?
Who gives a crap about high about besides the people that are playing high school football? But every year, here's the thing I hate. I see people every year. Oh, you know, we went to Polka High School in Polka, West Virginia. Our mascot is the Dots, the Polka Dots. Every year, man, I see people, you know, if you're 30 years old and you don't have kids, why do you care about high school football? These are the people I hate. I hate you. Why do you have to, you know? And I should just stay off Facebook because I hate people. I hate everything and everyone.
Yeah.
But
You see it all over the place, though. Yeah.
they're like, oh, going back to the high school game. Like,
Yeah, why are you going to a high school game?
why are you going to a high school game?
I didn't care about it when I was there.
I
mean,
played high school football and didn't give a crap about it.
I-
Like, you know, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that gets me. And I'm gonna maybe make some people mad here that
Oh, boy.
listen to the podcast. If that was the best time of your life, and that's what you still remember as the glory days, and it's high school, man, you got some issues.
yeah.
You got some issues.
You realize the only time I ever went to a high school football game, I never went to a poker game.
Okay.
I went to Winfield because I was dating Lacey, my wife at the time.
Well,
I didn't
his
even-
girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, girlfriend at the time. I'm
Wife
sorry.
now.
Wife at the time. Anyway,
Wasn't too
I
far after high school.
I didn't
though.
even go. I didn't even go to really hang out with her. We went and played tackle on the side. Like
That's
they
true.
had a big field in the back, and we played football back there.
And I always miss those because I played
Yeah.
football. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean it would be me, Matt, Jerry, a couple other guys, and we made people mad because they were like, "Guys, y'all play way too rough." So yeah, I just that was, to me, that was more fun than the actual like. I couldn't stand there and watch them play.
well, trust me, high school football is not fun. I'll tell you that much. You guys are definitely having more fun on the on the sideline playing that shit because these people, man, I'm telling you, they act like high school football is life or death. I mean, they're acting like it's the most important thing in your life, and I'm already, when I was in high school, I'm thinking, man, this football stuff, I was still playing it, but I was like, this football stuff, who cares? Because I'm getting ready to go to college and get a degree and get a good job.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm worried about, and people are worried about football.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of guys who are really good at football in high school, and around here,
where'd you go?
where did you go? Nowhere.
No,
You working at McDonald's now, or you're on drugs. So
probably both.
Probably both. But and I'll probably piss some people off saying that, but I mean, high school football does not matter, and I think we should put less emphasis on football, especially around here, and get these kids some freaking education.
Yeah,
And that's just being real about it. So say what you will there, but that's just me keeping it real.
well, I mean,
I can't stand this. Like, oh look, Polka's going to be really good this year. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Where are those kids going with their life? That's what freaking matters, man. I just, these people. I see people at my niece's little league softball games acting like they're playing. And softball doesn't even have a professional league. It's it's not like they're going to go make it. I mean, they can play for the Olympics and stuff, I guess, but I mean, it's it's little league softball or little league baseball. It's little league baseball. It doesn't matter, man. And that's people need to realize that a little bit more. You get all these parents that are over there, cussing and carrying on in front of kids.
And it's about the kids having fun. It's not about. For some reason, they think they're going to make it big. Go pro, go to NFL, or wherever the profession is.
It's about, okay, my kid can go be a pro football player, and he's going to give me all the money.
Yeah.
It's a selfish thing.
Well, and this will even go, like, I hated wrestling, okay? I hated it.
Yeah, which his oldest son did some wrestling
he
there
did
for a couple of years.
He did for 3 years.
3 years.
And I never let him know I hated it, but I hated it.
Yeah.
It's the most boring thing to watch. It takes all damn day, but that's neither here or there. But we went for a weigh-in at Cabell one day, okay? Well, I'm a firm believer. I don't starve my kid. I'm not so he can make weight. I would never do that.
Yep.
What he's at is what he's at. Well, this one dad comes up to me, and we're waiting in line, and he was like, he's talking about, he's like, talking about how many years his kid's been wrestling, this and that, and he's like, yeah, he hasn't ate since yesterday, but If he's not going, if I'm not going to let him eat, I'm not going to eat either. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Like, it really.
The kid was like 8.
It's midget
Who
league
gives
wrestling.
a damn about any of that?
Yeah, let the kid eat.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for the kids, and I'm telling you, the parents getting out there and like Rocky just said, getting up there and making an ass out of themselves.
Yep.
Man, that's just let them have fun. And they take the winning thing way too seriously.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
If my kids are going out and having fun, I could care less about the score. Yeah, and to me that's the biggest thing. I want my kid to lose because I want him to learn that you don't win everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you're not always going to win. And
But the world's not going to end if you don't win.
right, right. Now I want him to win, but if you don't win, life goes on.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, and that's that's the thing. I'm still all for. I don't like the participation ribbons and participation trophies. I don't like that. Give the winner a trophy. Because they won.
Yep.
I'm all for that, but also don't make them miserable to get it.
Yeah.
I just think that's ridiculous, and people need to put that in perspective and realize that this stuff does not matter.
No.
Even college football, even the NFL doesn't really matter.
No.
What are those guys doing to make people's lives better? They're not. They're doing nothing. They're just playing football.
Yeah, they're playing a kid's game and getting paid millions.
Of dollars. And why do they get paid millions of dollars? Because we put such a high, priority on sports.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't like the whole thing. I don't like I don't really do organized sports. I don't really do organized religion either. We won't get into that here.
Yeah.
That'll be a long conversation. We won't get into that. But
the only sport that so far now Trent did wrestling. He did the t-ball thing, which wasn't awful.
Yeah.
He still had some parents. We've done the basketball. Now this year, I think both of them's gonna be doing basketball.
yeah.
Of all the things, I think basketball I enjoyed the most
Yeah.
because they're actually teaching them the fundamentals, and the coach he had last year really they won pretty much the whole season, and then they ended up losing in the playoffs. But of all the teams that were playing at the end of the game, I liked because they shook hands, good job, and it's not. I understand they want them to win, but they're also teaching them it's not the end of the world if you don't win.
Yeah.
Hey, life goes on.
That's
Good
what it needs to
job.
be. And if you get a good coach, that's what it is.
And and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
It should never get to the point where you hate hate going to practice or like you in high school.
Yeah, I hated it, man. I hated it.
And there's a lot of people like that. And our good friend Crite, and this is one of the reasons I didn't play high school ball, because I knew it'd be like that. It's all about who's been giving the school money, or
whose dad was down there cutting the grass in the field.
Because if anybody, and I told Kreitz this when we were riding the bus the year before, I was like, they're going to put your ass on the line, and because they don't know you. Your mom and dad ain't down there kissing butt.
Yep.
But he should have easily been at least a tight, if not a tight end or receiver.
Kreitz could have been an all-state tight end, man.
He could have, son.
I'm telling you.
I remember playing, just backyard football with that man, and I know we had more fun on the weekends, or even going to a Winfield game and playing on the side than they were actually having at the game.
Yeah, but I won't speak for Kreitz, and he's a listener, so,
right?
But I just don't know, didn't enjoy it very much.
Yep.
And I think there's more important things than high school football. So that was kind of my point of the whole thing. So things I hate this week. There it is. Might piss some people off. Guess what? Don't care.
Yeah.
So there we go. But guys, kind of ended on a down note there. But
I did. That was
here we are. I mean, I got real on
just being hateful.
I'm just being hateful. But guys, thanks for listening this week. This has been another episode of the Couch Thoughts Podcast. from a couch. We'll be back next week. You can check us out on Podomatic, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Also post this episode on YouTube with the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also hit us up on Facebook at the Couch Thoughts Podcast, on Twitter at Couch Thought Pod. Until next week, later.